strong. This is where lies me, where Kitcher's heart beat. I am right where I belong. Here in this place I'm accepted. I'm welcome just as I am. I'm ready to be inspired, to reach out a helping hand. This is a new beginning. I trust in the mystery. Now that my heart is open, there's no place I'd rather be. This is where joy is. This is where love is. This is a place where I belong. This is where I see, where kindred's hearts beat. I am right where I belong. This is where joy is. This is where love is. This is a place where I am strong. This is where I see, where kindred's hearts beat. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong. I am right where I belong.
Thank you, Patty and Brett. I'm Barbara. I'd like to welcome you all to Unity of Hagerstown. As we gather here together, I'd like to welcome the folks that are here joining us virtually on live stream and those who will be on YouTube. So happy to be here. All right. So we will, I'm getting used to all this stuff, so be patient with me. Okay. We will come together now as we settle in. We are right where we belong. As we take a moment to center ourselves into a prayer, if you're comfortable to close your eyes or soften your gaze. This is the moment. Here is the place. We agree as we share in the experience of music, prayer, and meditation to be attentive, connected, and centered in the power of God. All that we have on our minds and in our hearts right now, we lift up into the possibility of instantaneous transformation in this time of worship and fellowship. And so it is. So, if you will join me in stating our mission statement together, we affirm. Unity of
Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embrace the spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive life of love and living for all.
Joy is the celebration of life. So we will have now the daily word, and there we go. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. Joy. Each day is a treasure filled with life's gems, found in even the most ordinary moments. Joy fills my heart when I praise to notice the wonder that surrounds me. I let my gaze linger as I watch the setting sun, or close my eyes as I savor the sweetness of fresh fruit. Beneath the night sky, I breathe deeply and partake of fresh, clean air. The beauty of the world pales in comparison to the beauty within me. I am so deeply and wondrously blessed to know my oneness with God and with all that is. There is no greater joy. I awake in praise each new day and feel newly alive. I go out into the world to share the joy of being a child of God in the abundant universe. And I spread light and love to everyone I meet, trusting they will know the joy of God as I do. From Psalms 92 and 4, for you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work, and the works of your hands I sing for joy. So let's look at the message on today's daily word. I feel joyous and I celebrate life. Hold that in our hearts. Ponder on that. Reflect on that. And one more time. I feel joyous as I celebrate life. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnie. Okay. our community. We can also welcome our friends on the live stream. But this is a short time for us to get together to not tell our life story. We greet each other with a handshake, a hug, or a bow, a namaste. Just kind of signal that to the other person. So let's get together and welcome each other to this celebration.
I'm okay. Good to see you.
I missed you.
I'm so glad that you're here. I'm very the technical difficulties that we did last week. For some reason, we got very psychedelic. That was weird, right?
Hold on, sorry, I'm up.
I'd love to see this first in the performance we had.
When the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops spinning round, I choose joy. I choose joy. When my heart won't seem to move, when my music's lost its groove, when I have too much to prove, I choose joy. I choose joy. When hate is all I see, I choose joy. I choose joy. When fear won't let me be, I choose joy. I choose joy. When betrayals and lies hide the light from my eyes, I look up to the sky. I choose joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. In this moment right here, I choose joy. I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. I choose joy. To be who I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everybody to be free. I choose joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, joy, joy. I choose joy. I choose joy. Well, I find a stable ground, peace and hope abound. I hear a sweeter sound. The chains have come unbound. Love is all around, and I choose joy. In this moment right here, I choose joy. I choose joy. For the ones that I hold near, I choose joy. I choose joy. To be who I must be, for the light to shine in me, for everybody to be free. I choose joy. I choose joy. And everybody will be free. When I choose joy, I choose
lovely job. I really appreciate that. Hello, everybody. It's good to see you, each and every one of you. So, you may have heard or read in the news how churches across many denominations have been closing thousands by the month. And this is true. This is true. It's been going on for a while. And that may lead for some to believe that churches are obsolete, or that we need to really reinvent how we're gathering together for spiritual education. Well, I believe that there's always going to be a need for connection, for communion, for a place to have sacred service, and a place for spiritual education. I believe that the teachings that we have here at Unity is really what the world needs today in order to change lives, to empower people as well. It's kind of like, think back with me, for some of you, think back when you used to have 45s to listen to music, right? And then maybe you moved to 8-tracks, right? Cassettes, and then CDs, and then an iPod, and then now, what do we have? We have streaming, everything, right? So the love and the need, the desire for music has never left us, but the way that we bring that music into our lives, it looks a little differently. So we are still definitely here offering a spiritual community, offering communion, a greater awareness of who we are as Spirit expressing. I went to a workshop. It was a board training presented by the Unity Worldwide Ministries Eastern region. There were boards there from 6 different churches. And a question was asked, how many of you know your church's core values? And at least half the room did not. Okay? So, when people are looking for a spiritual community these days, they're not just looking for something that aligns with their beliefs. They're not just looking for great music. They are also looking to see that the community and the leaders are walking the walk and not just talking the talk. Authenticity is key right now. And the core values are what we use to keep us on track. They're the deepest held beliefs that we have as a community. Oh, wait a second. Oh, not like that. Sorry. They're the guiding light, if you will, for an organization. They're taken into account when we make decisions. And they allow us to navigate complex situations that arise while keeping our identity and the culture of this community at the forefront. Simply put, core values are what we stand for in a way. Not in a way, but not all that we stand for, but ones that we hold true for this community. So we're going to be taking a look at Unity of Hagerstown's core values for the next few weeks. I think it was back in 2019, it was pre-COVID, that this, Paul was saying yes, this community got together and identified through a discernment process the values that we held. And we did this through a beautiful process that Paula led us through. And we used a word cloud to identify those values. For those of you who were part of that, you probably remember this, that every time a word was repeated, the value would get larger. And this is what we came up. You can see some of the words are smaller, some of them are larger. The larger ones had more people that had discerned that word. So the larger ones are the ones that we saw as this community's core values. Now, we didn't take all the large ones, but we took 6. Okay, the largest and next to largest, I guess. And so the first one we're going to look at, well, let me just tell you which ones we didn't take. We took spiritual, open-minded, acceptance, or accepting, we are accepting, welcoming, love, and joy. So the first one we're going to look at is spiritual. This is the foundation of everything we teach here in Unity, that we are of spirit, that everything is of spirit. We are a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe guided by spiritual laws. We are spiritual, full of spirit. This is the essence of our teaching. It covers the nature of reality, absolute reality, as opposed to relative reality. The absolute, the unchanging. It's the foundation for all the other core values. Now, 1 Corinthians tells us if there is a physical body, there is also a spiritual body. So this value reminds us not only that everything is spirit, that we are of spirit, that our work is of spirit, but it reminds us to come back to spirit in those times when our humanity emerges, because that does happen, right? Where we set the intention to live a spiritual life, and we're having a human experience as well. So it helps us remember that we are more than a body, more than this, the community is more than this building. We are spirit expressing individually and collectively. So there is a home within each of us where we can go to connect with that essence, that higher self, that Christ consciousness, Buddha nature, that presence, whatever the term is that you want to use. Spirit within us, that is our true self. So I heard a story about an old man who lived alone. And he complained to his neighbor that his eyesight was failing because when he looked out the window, he couldn't see the beautiful landscape in the neighborhood. He couldn't see the beauty around him anymore. So the neighbor went over and found that the windows were covered with dirt and grime and crud and cleaned them off until they sparkled. And the old man was delighted that the next time he looked out the window, he could see just as clearly as before. And the neighbor said, well, it's not your eyesight that had grown dim. It's just the windows were covered with too much dirt. So having spiritual as a core value, we keep the window of our heart clean so that we might understand God is expressing through everyone, everywhere. As a community, we strive to demonstrate this value. We include prayer in most of our activities. Prayer aligns us with that essence within. That's the purpose of affirmative prayer, not to pray to God out there, but to connect with God in here. Our Sunday celebrations also include meditation for the very same thing. When we get quiet and focus on our heart space, we begin to know that we are more than what we may think we are. And we also explore and discover other spiritual tools for spiritual living. Not only denials and affirmation, but it may be something creative as well. And we strive to see spirit expressing at all times. As an individual, because if we're not doing this, if we're not taking these core values individually, there's no way we can come together as a group and express them. So as an individual, we can express this value by giving ourselves time, consistent daily practice, time to pray, time to meditate, time to journal, time to get in touch with that home within. We can participate in classes and programs that support spiritual growth. And we can let the words of Charles Fillmore, our Unity's co-founder, come through, let the God within you express itself through you in the world without. And that can be expressed through creativity, through service, through loving kindness for others. It's following our purpose. That expression of spirit within us can come through in many different forms. Any form that your heart may lead you to do. So when we forget this core value, we can, as soon as we remember to, gently remind ourselves of it, to get out the Windex, to wipe off the grime from the window of our heart, right, so that we can see clearly once more. We can wipe away the fears, the inner critics. We can wipe away the condemnation, the unforgiveness. We can wipe away the insecurities, whatever it is that's keeping us from seeing the truth with a capital T of who we are. Seeing with a spiritual lens, a clean heart, God is present everywhere and expressing through each of us, here and now. All those who are on the spiritual path contain the whole of creation and the Creator. And that is because God is inside us, and inside God is everything. And so whoever loves God loves all that is. The only exception I have with this quote is that I believe all are on a spiritual path, whether we're aware of it or not, because everything is working together to help us wake up. I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that this is the 100-year anniversary of the Daily Word. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. So, loving the Daily Word like I do, I had to go back in time. 50 years. Not too far back, but 50 years to find. I found a daily word that speaks of being a spiritual being. I have modified the word just a little bit, the wording of this just a little bit, because 50 years ago the verbiage was a little bit different than what we use now. Not that much different, but I modified it a little bit. Let me read it to you. I am a spiritual being, created in the image of God. God has endued me with the divine qualities that enable me to express all that God is. I have within me the potential of all that is good, all that is perfect. As a spiritual being, I am able to take command of my life and my world. I live in a spiritual world. The air I breathe, the food that nourishes my body, whatever brings joy and comfort to my life are part of the spiritual world in which I live. I have access to all the good in this world created by God. As a spiritual being, I now claim and lay hold onto this good. I'm governed by spiritual ideas, ideas that are eternally true and unchangeable. These ideas are divine qualities in me that are patterned after God. As I work with spiritual ideas of life, love, wisdom, and power, all that is good, every phase of my life is enriched and blessed. And the scripture they use comes from Romans 8:6. To be spiritually minded is life and peace. I'm going to invite you to join me in this affirmation. We can't read a daily word without repeating the affirmation, right? Together. I am a spiritual being, living in a spiritual world, governed by spiritual ideas. Yes, amen. So the next value, the core value that we're going to look at today is open-minded. We are open to new ideas, we are open to new people, we are open to new experiences. Can I get an amen for that? Yeah. Okay, let's say it. Let's hold that. And from Matthew 18, except you turn and become as little children, you shall no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven we understand to be a state of consciousness within us. In other words, we will be stuck without that beginner's mind, without that openness, that curiosity, that wonder, that awe. We'll be stuck where we are. So we leave our preconceptions behind. We approach life with a beginner's mind. That's a philosophy from Zen Buddhism that invites us to be curious to the approach of life and all the experiences, kind of eager and open-minded, if you will. It comes from the term Shoshin, and it asks you to go into life, into meeting others, into experiences without any biases, leaving those behind, as a beginner might. Even if the experience is familiar, come with a beginner's mind, because that familiarity may assume knowledge, and you may shut you down to what is actually happening in the present moment. So the beginner's mindset encourages curiosity, questioning, openness. Richard Rohr tells us that a beginner's mind is a readiness to always be in awe, to always be excited. Beginner's mind is one's mind before the hurts of life have made us cautious and self-protective. We can still be excited. We can still be in awe. We can still expect tomorrow to be different than today. We can get out of our routines. So as a community, how do we demonstrate this value? How do we strive to? Because maybe we don't do it perfectly all the time, but this is our goal, to strive to do, not to strive, but to do this. So if there's a difference of opinion, go to the one with whom we have a difference of, and after prayer and discernment, come to an understanding with them. We don't need triangulation here. And we admit that we don't know everything. There's a lot I don't know, my friends. Maybe you do know everything, I don't know. And we approach something new, whether it's a new person, new experience, with a sense of wonder. And don't immediately reject an idea. Just consider it for a while. And I know that this community can do that because we did that when the rent went up here in St. Mark's. For those who were there, the talking stick circle that we had, it was one of the highlights for me of my ministry, that talking stick circle, in which we came together as a group and talked about where we were all at as far as, you know, the rent here going up 3 times the amount that we were paying. And we were able to work through that and discerned to stay here. It was a beautiful time of love and sharing and understanding. And again, how do we as individuals live this core value? Because if we're not living it, we're not going to live it as a community. If we're not living it individually, we're not going to bring it to the community. So here's something to remember, is that every moment can be a new beginning. We can ask more questions. We can become more childlike, not childish, but childlike, more receptive, more eager to learn. We can set aside the preconceived ideas and again consider that we don't have all the answers. Research shows that the part of our personality that drives creativity is openness to experiences, to engaging, and saying yes to opportunities. So our personality is not set in stone. We can alter it. We can learn to become more open. And I'm wondering, as we do so, do we become more creative? Yeah, something to think about. R.S. Holmes tells us years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up interest wrinkles the soul. Worry, doubt, self-distrust, fear, and despair, these are the long, long years that bow the head and turn the growing spirit back to dust. He goes on to say, whatever your years, there is in every being's heart the love of wonder, the undaunted challenge of events, the unfailing childlike appetite for what's next, and the joy of the game of life. You are as young as your faith, as old as your fear, as young as your hope, as old as your despair. In the central place of every heart, there is a recording chamber. So long as it receives messages of beauty, cheer, and courage, so long are you young. So I wanted to give you a few ideas on cultivating a beginner's mind. And what follows is taken from masterclass.com, if you ever wanted to look it up. I'm not sure if they have a class on it, but they certainly had some good information. The first idea they suggested was to clear your mind before going into a new situation or a new experience. Try to let go of those preconceived ideas. Maybe do a short little meditation, even just a 2-minute one, just watching your breath and allowing the thoughts to calm, so that you can become more at ease and approach it with an open mind. The second one is, this is my favorite, watch children. Watch your grandkids as they learn a new activity, or watch the neighbor's kids, or go to the park and see children playing, see them learning how to do something new. They have the young ones at least, have a wide-eyed approach to new experiences. Whether it's learning to walk or learning to ride a bike, it's precious, and it can be freeing for us to model after that. The third one is to let go of your ego. You know, the ego always wants to be right, and the ego always speaks first. That's from A Course in Miracles, right? So the beginner's mind is humbling. It's humbling. It's reminding ourselves that we don't know, perhaps we don't know, and that we can ask more questions, and we can find comfort in those questions, even if we don't get an answer. We can enjoy the experience as opposed to racing towards the answer. And then engage curiosity. Instead of operating on autopilot, the same old routine, shake it up and do things differently. You know, lead from a place of inquiry over certainty. I want to have that one tattooed on my heart. Lead from a place of inquiry. Yes. And then finally, go one step at a time. The beginner's mind rewards slowness. That's why you have a picture of a spa. And besides, they're cute, right? So there's no need to rush, particularly when we're talking about spiritual journeys. You know, there's no need to rush. We're going to get there. You know, it might take us longer. It doesn't matter. Time is a concept. So staying in the present moment instead of planning for what's next. So again, I went to the Daily Word for this word, open-minded, and found something from 1967. There were a lot of things. This is just the one I chose from 1967. And again, the languaging may be a little bit different, but I have modified it a bit. Jesus said, except you turn and become as little children, you shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. Little children have open minds. They do not reject ideas because they are biased against them. They are eager to know more, to learn, and they soak up knowledge like thirsty plants. They turn to the light as a flower turns to the sun. Today, I will make a new beginning and become more childlike, more receptive, more eager to learn. I pray that I drop the old, set, crystallized prejudices of the past. I open my mind to learn new things. I will not condemn that which is not clear to me, but will consider it and try to grow from what I learn. I will be teachable. I let my mind expand into wider spheres of thought. I will be inspired by new ideas and new enthusiasm. So we're going to move into a time of meditation. And as you get comfortable, this will be a guided meditation followed by a period of silence. And as you get comfortable, and if you like, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths. And as we exhale, allow the shoulders to relax and the thoughts to calm. And as we sit quietly, just notice any thoughts that may be bubbling up. Not with any judgment, just notice them. And then see if you can give yourself some space between the thought and who you are. Become the observer. You are watching the thoughts, not engaging in them. And watching it with curiosity, non-judgment. And now see if you can put a little bit more distance again and move beyond the observer to that center within, that home within, that essence of spirit within. voices around us, but this is an inner quiet that we're looking for. I encourage you to allow whatever sensations to be felt that come up. Be open to that activity of spirit within. Know that you are spirit expressing in the silence. As we continue to sit restfully, let's allow gratitude to come into our hearts as we give thanks for this moment, thanks for this community, thanks for this day.
Love is everything.
So I invite you to join me in our prosperity affirmation together. Wait, before we start, I want you to feel it, okay? Feel the energy of it. Together, prosperity flows freely through
Our church, nourishing our ministry, while enriching the lives we touch.
We are
Grateful stewards of all that is given.
Use it wisely to create a legacy of
Love and service.
And while we have our offering, we'll have another song, right?
A mighty river is flowing, bringing life to the land. Abundance flows as I fully step from head to heart to hands. Through me, Spirit moves
Through me, from head to hearts to hands. Through me,
Spirit moves
through me, from head to hearts to hands. From head to hearts to hands.
I share from the bounty because I understand. The blessings flow when I
Simply let it go. From head to hearts to hands. Through me,
Spirit moves
through me,
from head to
hearts to hands. Through me,
Spirit moves
through me, from head to hearts to hands. From head to hearts to hands. Through me,
Spirit moves
through me, from head to hearts to hands. From head through me,
Spirit moves
through me, from head to hearts to hands.
from head
To hearts to hands.
from head
To hearts to hands. From head to hearts to hands.
Yes. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. So we do have a few announcements, but I'm going to get them out of order because I want to get the sign-up sheet started for the Adopt a Highway coming up on. Actually, that's not even on there. Oh, sorry. Need my glasses. Coming up on the 18th, yes, at 8:30. And Marty, who has been leading this group for a number of years now, would really like some help. So if you're feeling like a walk and a little bit of activity during that walk, like bending down and picking up stuff, I invite you to sign up. It's very gratifying, you know, I have to say, it's satisfying in some way. So our speaker series begins this Wednesday, and you do not have to attend all of them. You can pick and choose which ones you'd like to come to. They are listed on a flyer with a short description, a brief description. This is a video series featuring Reverend Linda Martello Witzek. Some of you may be familiar with her books. And the first one on May 8th is, let me just read it. You've no doubt heard about prosperity. It's not about money. You're right, it's not about money. It's about counteracting primal human insecurity, insufficiency, and worthlessness. It's about accepting our full and rightful identity and cultivating a plenty consciousness. Anything you want, anything you need, let's start at the very beginning with the ABCs of thriving. So that's the first one. But the following weeks are going to have different topics as well. She's a wonderful speaker, UT minister from probably 30 years at least, and the author of at least 4 books that I know of. She also served at Silent Unity for a number of years too. So if that interests you, or if you just want to come to the dinner and discussion, I invite you to sign up on the sign-up sheet in the foyer. And yes, you don't have to commit to all the weeks, but just the ones you want to come to. Okay. Now, St. Mark's Cleanup Day is this coming Saturday, and we are contracted with them through our lease to help them clean up the campus. I don't think there's going to be any mulch. Thank you, God. And I say that sincerely. But there is, I guess, some weeding to do and raking and whatnot. So if you, again, want to get some little outdoor activity and are available Saturday, they would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it as well, any help you can give. And then the Men of Unity are meeting Thursday on the 16th, 6 p.m. here. That's for every male who wants to join in. Drumming, meditation, discussion, I don't know what they do. Poker, smoking cigars, I know. I don't know what they do. But I've heard good things about it, so. And then on the 18th, also, after Adopt a Highway, this is for women only. Sabrina Madsen is doing a workshop on womb wisdom, and there are flyers out there in the foyer for that as well. Saturdays, we continue our walk and talk meeting at Cushwell Basin in Williamsport at 9 a.m., except for when it rains, and I won't be there the next 2 Saturdays because obviously I've got other things going on. But you know, if you want to do that instead of help with Adopt a Highway, whatever you want to do. And then on the 19th, we're having a Mother's Day potluck. It's not Mother's Day, it's the Sunday after Mother's Day, because Mother's Day, you want to be with your family usually, right? But this will be kind of in remembrance of our moms, whether they're still with us or have passed. I invite you to bring your mom's favorite dish. Now, what would that be? I don't know. Something that we can think about. And then HARC, the Hagerstown Area Religious Council, has a hike every year, the first Saturday or second Saturday of June. And this is to support Micah's Backpack, which feeds hungry children in the county, as well as the Refugee Welcome Committee here in Washington County. I have created a Unity team for those who would like to join me. I'm not doing the 10K, but the 4K, which is 2.5 miles. And I figure a lot of people might be able to do that if you go to register online. There are flyers out in the front. Register online, or for those watching virtually, if you want to join me, I would love that. And you can find the information at heartcoalition.org/hike. And then to register for the team, there's a little drop-down window, I believe, that you can put in the team's name, and we are the Unitics. Yeah. That's June. Yeah. Did I not have it right?
No, it's May 19th. That's May.
No, yeah, that's not right. It's June 8th. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. I'll correct that before next week. Oh, it's registered before May 18th in order to get a free t-shirt. That's why that date is there. Okay. It's like, yeah, yes, and you want the free t-shirt, right? So the other thing with the HARC hike, if you don't want to hike, you are welcome to support it by, you can give a donation here, just make sure it's clearly marked for a HARC hike. And anything that we get above $200 is going to be tripled in matching funds. Yeah, so isn't that wonderful? And we're 2/3 the way there. So, okay, that's it. And at this time, I'm going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends. We love you. We bless you. We see the light you are. We give thanks for you and your being part of this community.